All right, you want warm water, I would say between 72 and 75 degrees. You don't want it too warm because then you're gonna kill your cultures. You don't want it too cold because then they're not gonna move. They're not gonna do anything. You're gonna shock them. I'm just mixing in, there's a name for that liquid that moves to the top of your starter, but I just cannot think of it at the moment. I'm just mixing that back in because it's actually a good thing. For my feeds, I do a 1:1:1 ratio. So I do 100 of my starter, 100 of water, and 100 of all-purpose flour. And with your leftover discard, you can either bake something, or I have been dehydrating mine to turn into a powder to hopefully deliver to you. I just need to do some experimenting to see if that works. Otherwise, I saw people freezing their discard. It's totally up to you because it will pile up. If you're making bread every week, you're gonna have to either bake something additionally with the discard or figure out how to save it or put it in your compost or put it in your trash can. Do not put it down your sink. 100. Spring has sprung around here. We're eating sandwiches now for lunch or salads. So we're just doing all the things and we're enjoying every minute of it. I still am gonna use my garden pads because it's just guaranteed heat and guaranteed rising, which is what I want. I don't wanna be waiting for this. I got too much going on to be waiting for the starter to rise. I'll probably feed it twice before making my loaves. This is just a fun time of year. I feel like everything's really taking off. And so the inspo is just like booming. The more years I live, the more I feel like spring really is the time to restart and refresh. And I have embraced that more and more over the past several years. It just feels better. I just feel shitty in the wintertime. By the way, PSA to all my peeps who get our annual card. We do a New Year's card, we don't do a Christmas card, but this year I didn't send it out. So you weren't left out of my list. I just could not be bothered to even put it together. We had just lost the dog and a goat and life just seemed to be falling apart around us. So I was just not in a space to care. But this year, it's gonna be better at the end of the year and you all will get your New Year's cards from the porters. Yucky! One thing about sourdough is if you mess it up, usually you can fix it at some point by adding more or less of something else to compensate for your mistakes. Or bake it for more or less time. You can usually make up for it somewhere. Some of you have asked me for that loaf recipe, so I'll have that out this week for you. So you can start making loaves for your spring and summer sandwiches to be on sourdough. Because you're a bougie bitch, you know? I find the process to be very grounding. So once you start sourdough, it's just something that pulls you back and you just keep doing it. It's actually very simple, even though it does take time. Not a lot of your own time, but a lot of time for the dough to process. Like this takes all of 5 minutes to feed my starter. And then you spend 5 minutes putting the dough together and then you wait. And then you fold it and then you wait. And then you fold it and then you wait. And then you fold it and then you wait. And then you fold it and then you wait. And then you shape it. And you wait, and then you bake it, and you wait. So it's not time consuming, it's just takes time.